Today, I'm bringing you 8 strategies to get listings without ever making that dreaded cold call. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Amanda. This channel is all about growing your real estate business without ever making a cold call. If you're a regular, welcome back. I'm so grateful you're here. Let's dive right into it today. The first strategy is video home value update. And this is a really, really powerful way to generate listings within your sphere of influence. There's 2 parts to this. If I'm sending a video home value update to past clients, sphere of influence, I call it just that. But if you get a lead that's looking for the value of their home, then I change it and I call it a video CMA. So keep that in mind. What this does is not only show that you are bringing value to the table, but it also shows your knowledge on the area you do business in. I take my clients right into the MLS with me. If you check out the description below, you can get an example of what I actually send to my clients. I show them a few comps that are relative to their home, and then I share what the value of their home is in the current market. My clients absolutely love this. I get the most wonderful feedback. I've gotten plenty of listings from it from clients that I didn't even know were thinking about selling, and I've also gotten referrals from it. This is truly a great way to establish yourself as an expert. Bring that value to your clients. You're not selling anything, you're just showing them what their home is worth. And I don't know one person, myself included, who doesn't want to know the current value of their home. Number 2 is client events. And I will add a card somewhere up here. I've done a whole video on hosting client events. This is not only a great way to generate listings, but it's also a great way to simply generate referrals in general. You can do more intimate client events. You can, go all out and have a massive client event. It's really up to you. Check out that video. It'll give you some ideas on how to go about it. And what I like to do at least once a year for one of our client events is encourage them to bring friends or a family member. We call it a friends and family pass, and that is a powerful way to bring more people into your circle, again, without ever being salesy. The next strategy is starting a farm. And hear me out on this. I know a lot of people out there think that farming is this, archaic practice, and it's not. And so many people, so many real estate agents, I should say, don't farm anymore. They don't believe in that physical piece of mail. Now, I will say this is a long-term strategy. Do not start a farm unless you are financially able to commit to it for a minimum of a year. I would recommend closer to the 18-month time frame, but absolute minimum financial commitment is going to be for a year. And you need to also bring value. Farming works when you're consistent and when you're showing value. So give something to those sellers or potential sellers in the neighborhood that you're farming to make them want to contact you. Market data is powerful. Sellers or homeowners in general, they love receiving that data on their doorstep and seeing what's happening in the neighborhood without ever having to go on Zillow, Redfin, or wherever else to look it up. But you have to make sure you're consistent, and you've really got to be careful when you are deciding what area you're going to farm. Make sure that there is enough turnover to make it worth your effort. And you also want to check out to see if another agent is already dominating that area. Not to say that you can't jump in there and start to get some of that business, but I will say, unless you are just dead set on a certain neighborhood, maybe because you live there or another reason, I would recommend picking a farm that's not already dominated by one agent in particular, meaning they don't have at least 50% of the business, because long term, that's going to mean faster results for you, and it's going to require less finances to be able to get those results. Number 4 is targeting FSBOs, but not the way that you might think. I'm not saying call FSBOs and say, hey, I want to list your house. That's probably not going to work out too well because you and 15 other agents are going to be doing that. There's 2 ways I like to approach FSBOs. 3 if we really want to get outside of the box, but first up are the 2 that I like to use for my approach. If there's an open house, go to their open house. Start to establish that rapport with them and offer them, this is step 2, a FSBO help kit. That's what I call mine. You could call it a guide, call it whatever you want, but actually have something physical to hand to them to help them sell their home on their own. That shows you respect their stance on wanting to sell their home without an agent, and you're simply trying to provide value to them. Now, the way that this actually turns into conversion is you have to keep in touch with these for sale by owners. So if they weren't having an open house, you could either mail them a help kit, or I would actually recommend calling them in that case and saying, hey, I saw that you are selling your home on your own, and I just wanted to see if you would like a free copy of my FSBO help kit to give you some pointers on how to secure that buyer. Do not go in asking for the listing. It's not going to work. Give them about 30, 45 days, and if they haven't been successful and you've kept in touch with them that whole time and never asked for the listing, they're going to think to call you. Another out-of-the-box strategy that you can use with for sale by owners is to call them or stop by, whatever you feel comfortable with, and ask them if they need an agent to help them find their next home. Now, some of them are of course going to be moving out of your area, and in that case you could offer to refer them to an agent that you know, but in many cases they are going to be buying another property in the same area. And I find that a lot of agents don't ever think to ask, hey, could I help you purchase your next home? This does two things. One, it gives you a shot of being able to help them with their purchase, of course. But two, it also shows them that you're not doubting that they can sell their home on their own. And most of them will probably fail, but if you're already working with them to purchase their next home, don't you think the odds are pretty good that at some point, if they are failing at selling their own home, they're going to think to start to talk to you about listing their home? Next up is organic social media. Again, it's another long-term play, but it's absolutely free. It's going to cost you nothing more than your time. And the bottom line is social media is powerful. Love it, hate it, whatever your thoughts are about it, it is a great way to generate business. But it again takes consistency and it takes effort. It's not difficult, but it doesn't mean that it's just going to sit back and magically happen. You really have to think about who you're targeting when you're going to be posting on social media. And if you are going to be targeting this segment to be able to get listings, you need to be posting every single day. If that's your end goal, is to be getting clients from social media, you really do need to post every single day. And post things that are helpful for solving whatever it is you're going after, their pain points. So let's say that you are going after first-time home buyers. Then you want to post the problems that they're going through and the solutions. The best way to get listings on social media is to target upsizers and go through the pain points of how is this all going to work out financially? Are they going to be priced out of the market? Are they looking to be in a certain school system that's really hard to get into and even hard to find listings in? There's so many ways that you can go about it, but don't undercut organic social media. That leads me into my next one, which is paid social media. And of course, if you put some dollars behind it, yes, you are most likely going to get better results. But I say most likely because anybody can run Facebook ads as an example, and they're much cheaper than Google PPC. But you have to understand that you need to know exactly what you're doing before you start putting money behind those ads. Because if your ads are not structured correctly, one of two things is going to happen. One, you're going to have a really high dollar amount cost per lead, not what you want, or you're not going to even be getting leads. And I'm going to take it one step further. Do not put $1 behind social media ads unless you have a system in place to then be able to nurture and convert those leads. Social media generates a boatload of leads. Like I could probably, if I ran our Facebook ads that we have set up every single day at $20 a day, anywhere from, I would say, 3 to 7 leads will be coming in on a daily basis. But they need nurturing. They, in most cases, are not going to be ready to list their home anywhere from 6 to 12 months, possibly even longer. So you have to keep that in mind and be able to have a system in place to nurture those leads, or you're never going to convert and then you might as well have set your money on fire. This is, aside from Instagram, my personal favorite way to generate listings, and it's long term. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you are committed to starting and growing a YouTube channel, wow, you talk about leveraging your time and actually really building a library of content that will live on and on and on, and it's working for you even while you're sleeping. YouTube is where it's at. For now. I'm sure eventually it's going to get saturated, but by no means is it too late. Start a YouTube channel if that's something that you're interested in, and actually start posting videos about your area. It doesn't have to be, 10 tips to sell your home or 10 tips to sell your home on your own. Post videos about your area, the area that you sell in. This could be neighborhoods, it could be whole cities, it could be about the parks, the restaurants, the entertainment. There are so many things that you can post on YouTube that are directly related to your area and showcase that you're a local expert. There's a whole lot of other things that go into it that I won't get into on this video. It's not just throw some videos up and you start getting clients. Everything has to be optimized. You want to look into the SEO. I'm going to stop there because I'll go down the rabbit hole. But YouTube is a really, really strategic way to build out this portfolio of content that is always working for you no matter what you're doing. And over time, you absolutely will start to get listings, and most likely, at least what I've found from my YouTube channel on Northern Virginia, is a lot of these homeowners are looking to sell and then buy as well. Number 8 is develop a niche. And I recommend this whether you are looking to generate more listings or more buyer clients. You really need to niche down. And I know that it kind of sounds backwards of why wouldn't I want to attract as many clients as I possibly can? But what happens is if your messaging isn't directed at someone specific and addressing their pain points, you're talking to no one. If you were, say, standing in a crowd and saying, "Hey everyone, can I get your attention?" and nobody's looking up, and then you decide to say, "Hey Jim," because that's a pretty common name, and someone named Jim looks up, you've really got to tailor that marketing. That's my best example of why niche marketing is so important. So if you are going to be deciding on a niche that you want to focus on and become the expert in, then you know what your content needs to be created for, in terms of you want to be talking to that specific client avatar in that niche and solving their problems. I think that we have reached a point in the world, even I would say, not just real estate from a marketing standpoint, that you have to niche down. It can't just be this broadcast message that doesn't resonate with anyone in particular. The old call me to list your home or reach out for me to list your home, it doesn't work anymore. It's way too broad and it doesn't speak to your target audience. Be sure to grab the free example of the video home value update. It'll be in the description below. And I hope you got some value from this video. If you did, please consider hitting that like button or even subscribing. It always helps me out and I greatly appreciate it. Until I see you on the next one, take care.